Right, well, I'd become particularly disheartened by the whole process. I felt that the decision to close the maternity units, well, the consultant-led maternity units at Glenclwyd, I felt that the whole process lacked transparency. And I was particularly concerned that such a decision, such a fundamental decision, could be made without consultation with the doctors who worked at the units, the midwives, and the general community. We as a family, we've relied so heavily on the obstetrics department at Glenclwyd, and I was getting disheartened that every avenue that could be explored was being explored, but we were still left with the same result in that the BMA passed a vote of no confidence. The Community Health Council referred the matter to the Welsh Government. The Assembly members, they passed a vote against the decision within the Welsh Assembly, and still nothing seemed to be getting done. The Health Minister didn't seem to be taking the matter seriously, as was the First Minister. And so I started exploring whether or not it would be possible for somebody in general to make an application for judicial review. And I was approached by the BMA and asked whether I'd be interested in, with their support, becoming a claimant in this matter.
And as for the results from today, obviously the health board have agreed to consult, and the board and obviously the judge has sort of made that official, telling them they've got to now. What are your thoughts off from that?
Obviously, I start off from a position of some trepidation in that it remains to be seen what form that consultation process will take. However, I am confident, having met the interim chief executive yesterday, that he will engage in a full and frank consultation process. But one thing I don't want to see is, I don't want it to be a prejudged consultation. I don't want to see there being one option, which is to shut the unit. I want there to be a number of options presented to members of the public, all of them supported by evidence, and I want as many people as possible to be given the opportunity to have their say, including the clinicians, the midwives, members of the public, both those who've been affected by the impending changes over the past few months, and the community at large.
And do you think that the appointment of the new sort of interim chief executive, do you think that he has played a part in this?
I'd hope so. I think it's now become quite political. I think the results of the most recent general election have made people sit up and actually take notes of what members of the public and the clinicians have been saying. And I think we live in an age now where public services have to be seen to be accountable to the public which they serve, and they can't be seen to be doing such important decisions behind closed doors. I appreciate there might be issues within the obstetrics unit, and we might not all get the results that we want at the end of the day. However, there should be a full and frank disclosure of all evidence in the matter, and everybody should have a chance to have their say at what is a fundamental change to services. And one thing I was particularly concerned about is that the demographic of the area didn't seem to be taken into account, in that we live in one of the most deprived areas in Wales, and the health board didn't seem to get the link between demographics and outcomes, and it must have. We were fortunate in our situation in that we do have the means to travel. We could have transferred to Wrexham or to Gwynedd. However, many people don't. And what about those countless women without any transport or any means of transport who present at the day unit in Glenclwyd a good few times a week for months leading up to the birth of their babies? How were they meant to travel to Wrexham or to Bangor? And I know these are discussions that still need to be had in the course of the consultation, but all we ask for is a thorough process, and I'll be keenly keeping an eye on that.